Welcome to episode 473 of Salcedo Paranormal, and tonight I'm starting a series on haunted places around the U.S. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me, at the podcast page, and that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments, questions, or topic suggestions for the show, and or stories of paranormal experiences as well, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. As always, thank you all for listening, whether you are here for the live streams on Discord, or you listen on the podcast or YouTube feeds, or on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. There you can hear replays of the show every night at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's 2 replays of the show. And that is right before Michael Strange and Troubled Minds Radio comes on, the show. And I always want to thank Michael Strange, host of Troubled Minds Radio, as well as Liam Martin, host of the Exiled Minds podcast, for producing the show and putting it up on the station where y'all can hear it there. And if you'd like to support the show, there are some different ways to do that. You can always share the show with others, and then rate and review the show on your podcast platform of choice. Also, you can always find books that I've written over on Amazon on paranormal fiction and nonfiction, hopefully with one coming out within the next year, 2024. Also, I have a Patreon page where I plan on releasing new episodes at least once a month. And that will be always be a true paranormal episode, stories from the web episode, an extra one of those. So looking forward to that. I still have to make that for this month, and I will get to that as soon as I can. Also, you can just send one-time donations through PayPal or Venmo. And help is never expected, but always appreciated, as there are expenses in doing this show, making the show, in terms of equipment and research materials and travel expenses as well, as I'm going to the Mid-Michigan Paracon this year. That's November 4th and 5th. It's Saturday and Sunday at the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. I'll be there listening in on the presentations and making recordings of myself and anyone else who wants to join me, talking about our thoughts on the paranormal and personal experiences and whatever anyone who is there that wants to join me, whatever we all want to talk about in the paranormal. And then I'll share those recordings once I get back home from that event. So really looking forward to that, and can't wait to get there and see how it goes. It's going to be my first time at a Paracon, so that will be an experience for sure. So yeah, this is a start of a series I want to do. It's going to be a very long, continuous series, all about just places across the U.S. that are said to be active, paranormal active, in one way or another. And these are, from what I can tell, these are reports of experiences and or legends. I'm not a historian. I don't claim to know that any of these articles that I'm going to share or talk about are exactly 100% right. I'm more interested in the reports of overall of the experiences people have at these locations, and sort of going over similarities and maybe over time, over several episodes, sort of seeing what patterns emerge from talking about all these different locations all across the U.S. and what patterns are there, and what we can, just any information we can all together, even those of you that listen in and have thoughts and ideas, what ideas we can come up with as to how all this works and why it happens, and just anything we can sort of start to maybe somehow get our minds wrapped around this. So, and if nothing else, then if we can't do a lot of that, at least we can hear about all these places that people talk about all the time. So The other thing I want to mention with this is for all these places and for all these shows, please check online and see what you can find about whether they are open to the public or not. Because trespassing is never a good idea for many reasons, safety, legal, all those different things. So I'm just going to always say that at the very beginning of these episodes, just so you all understand that I'm talking about the locations, but I don't know what their current status is as to whether people can visit them or not, and what the schedule is, and if there's any kind of cost, or that's all. Those are all things that if you're really interested in these locations and you sort of want to check them out, please. Unfortunately, you have to do all that research on your own because things change over time. So I can tell you one thing today that may be accurate as of now, and then it could change. So just wanted to get all that out there, and I'll probably do that at the beginning of every one of these episodes. So thank you all for getting through all that, all the sort of the disclaimers or the introductory information there. And so, of course, when I started going through this to figure out where I was going to talk about, the website that I started with, that I sort of am taking cues from, sort of using as a starting point, is I believe it's hauntedplaces.org. So and then I go and I find articles about the place that they talk about, and that's what I'll be sharing with you tonight, is these articles. And I'll include all the articles that I talk about in these episodes in every episode description, so you can check those out yourself and go from there. So, and of course, we're going to be starting with the state of Alabama, going in order, alphabetical order for the states anyway. Not the individual locations, but just from state to state. I'll be going alphabetical order, so Alabama is first on that list. And so we'll be on that state, I'm sure, for quite a while. So all these episodes, or these articles that I'm going to talk about tonight, will be in the episode description, so that you can check them out for yourselves. And so here we go with this. The first location is the Gaines Ridge Dinner Club. This first article is from onlyinyourstate.com, and the title of this article reads, "You'll never forget your visit to the most haunted restaurant in Alabama." So this article says that since 1985, this location has been serving the Camden area of Alabama. And so this restaurant is in an 1820s antebellum house, basically. And it's one of the oldest structures standing in the area as of now. So those are always amazing. That's, if you think about that, let's see here. What date did that say here? 1820s. So that's 100, almost 200 years old. That's really amazing. So this location, this dinner club, is well known for the paranormal activity that goes on there. Several people have reported, guests have reported, basically hearing the screams of a woman. That's not good, and the constant cries of a baby. Many have even reported the scent of pipe smoke, even though nobody had been smoking in the house. Now, keep in mind with that, I've heard that kind of a scent can be trapped in the wood of a building, in the frame, and then released due to different environmental conditions. But also, I've heard stories of that kind of being taken into account in locations that are active, and sort of being checked, the area being checked for that, and it not the scent still being unexplained. So I'm not really trying to debunk that. I'm just saying there's a couple different ways that could happen. So let's see here. Some of the strangest events there. One of the strangest events there was when a woman was seen floating past windows. So I'm guessing maybe there are people outside. I'm guessing, and looking up and seeing this figure floating by when there was no one there. Also, there's some amazing pictures in this article here. So, there are, let's see here, there's some videos that are included in this article. And so this is, let's see here. This goes into further details about other locations, but so it does sound like there's just a variety of activity there. And so that's the first article I had on this location. We'll go to the next one. This is from soul-grown.com. And the title of this article reads, "The Haunted Tales of Alabama's Gaines Ridge, Dinner Club." So this is, and again, this is located in a house. And many of these older houses, that's what they are turned into as businesses because of the cost of sort of upkeep on a place like that. And I've seen that. And if they're not turned into a business, in a lot of cases, they're turned into apartments as well. So mentions the name of the location, name of the restaurant and the location. And it's one of the mentions that this is one of the few places that you can go to and eat at and also get ghost stories. So this restaurant has been does close for certain holidays and also other days. Apparently it does close through Halloween, but again, this is one article, so that could change now. This was built as a residence in 1827, according to this article here, and converted into a dining and catering operation in 1985. So it was a house for a long time. Now I wonder if this is a relative of the family. Mentions that the co-founder of the restaurant, I'm guessing, Betty Gaines Kennedy, has described hearing a voice call out her name while working there one night. The cook and the only living person there at the time, so she was the only person there at the time, has heard it as well. Oh, I'm sorry, the different one. The different person has claimed to hear that same voice. Hear the voice. I'm confused here. I guess. Oh, so the cook was there with Kennedy, and they heard it as well, but it wasn't a voice that they recognized. So, let's see here. They mentioned here, Kennedy says it's not a ghost story in the video. It's a ghost truth, which I like that in a way. People say they've seen a female apparition floating outside the windows at night. I wonder if they mean actually floating in the air, or if they mean they've seen her from outside and while she's inside. But there's also an apparition that has been seen. People that say that as a apparition that appears to be spindly, so I'm guessing really thin or skinny. And some people say is an early resident, War of 1812 veteran and Methodist Circuit preacher Ebenezer Hearn. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. So there's multiple apparitions seen in the area, and there's also apparently this one time that diners and a server heard what sounded like someone falling in the bathroom, hard enough to make the door shake. So that's not good. Only to find that, of course, no one was in there and nothing had fallen. Nothing had fallen there at all. Apparently, nothing had fallen off the walls, or no logical explanation for that as well. So let's see here. Goes into a little more detail about the baby crying sound of that. We won't get into that. Let's see here. So mentions that generations of this family, the Gaines family, traced their roots to the area, and to the earliest days of European settlement in Alabama. So there are still some people from that family that have descended from it that are still around. So then they operate the location as of this article. And let's see here. Apparently, Betty. Let me see here. Lost my spot. Betty Gaines Kennedy took over operation of the restaurant starting in 1986, retiring in 2019. But her son and daughter-in-law and grandson now run the dinner club. Sorry, and the ghost legends still continue apparently. And they say that anything that can't be explained, they blame on the paranormal, basically. So, and they think that there's a lot going on there. So maybe there is. Really amazing that the family that has such a history in the area is still running the place. I think that's amazing. And so let me see here. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for that article. So we'll go on to the last one I have on this location, and then we'll see how far we can get from there. I think this next one is a pretty short one. So this next article here, the website is not. I'm not a fan of the design of this next website, but it does have a couple paragraphs on the location. This is from AlabamaHauntedHouses.com. A lot of images on this website here. Kind of hard to keep track of what's going on. But according to this website, the Gaines Ridge Dinner Club has been in the area making delicious meals since 1985, but the building, the house basically dates back to the late 1820s. And some of of course, the article says that some of the past residents of the location still appear to be there even after they had passed on. There's the ghost of an unidentified woman that has been seen floating past windows and heard screaming and calling out. So that's quite the active apparition there. Sometimes there is the smell of pipe smoke. So that's, again, going back to that first article there, even though there's no one in that building that's smoking. Others claim to have seen the apparition of a tall, bearded, gaunt man dressed in black as well. And this is, of course, where they mention one of the former owners, Ebenezer Hearn, who was again a minister. So let's see here. So yeah, that's basically all I have for that location. And I think we're gonna end the. I think I'll stop. I'll save the next locations for next time. So, and I'll just go on a little bit about sort of why I wanted to do this. There's some years ago I thought about making sort of a database of locations that are said to be haunted and sort of looking to see what kind of parallels I could find there and doing a big old fancy spreadsheet and all that. But with my eyes as they are now, that's not really the smartest idea to try to do. And so I decided instead to just do sort of an audio version of this and the show, just a continuing series. And that's what I'm starting with here tonight with this show. So I'll be doing this once a week. I did mention this in the Discord. I'm making a couple of minor changes to the arrangement of shows that I do every week. The schedule will still stay the same, Saturday through Wednesday, and same stream times, the same recording stream times and everything. So that's staying the same. But I'm going to. I've really decided. I've learned that I figured out that I really do like the true paranormal stories from the web episodes more than any other show that I do. Any other kind of show that I do, even the topic-based ones or the news shows, those are all good. I think the only shows I like better are the ones where I have guests on to talk about topics or their own experiences. But that takes time to schedule and arrange, and people are busy. So in terms of just the shows that I can do on my own that I do often, I want to do more of the true paranormal stories from the web shows. So the new excuse me, the new schedule is going to be Saturdays will be paranormal news, and then haunted places. I'll be recording 2 of those. They're basically those 2 episodes every Saturday. And then Sunday through Tuesday will be the true paranormal stories from the web shows. And then Wednesday will be the topic-based shows that will change over time. Right now, I'm still currently working through the complete books of Charles Fort, reviewing that. So that's the current one that will be ongoing on Wednesdays for a while. And so I hope you all enjoy that new schedule. I'm just I've heard this before, and I do agree with it. You have to, if you're going to do something like this, a major project like this, it has to be interesting to you if you're going to keep doing that. And the true paranormal stories from the web, to me, that's the most interesting part of doing this show. So, but I do think this series on haunted places will, over time, maybe lead to some good thoughts and conversations and ideas that may be useful down the line. So that's why I wanted to start with this the series tonight and get this going. So, and I'm sure from in future shows, for future episodes of this show, this series, I'll be able to cover more than just one location. But there was a lot to get through in introducing it, and then you never know how long it's going to take to get through the articles. So I figure there'll be 1 or 2 locations per episode, and we'll go from there. So, and of course, whenever I have a guest on, that will always that always takes precedence over any other show. So whenever there's a guest that is going to come on for any reason, that will be that show for whatever day and time we're able to schedule it for, and then I'll just do the usual show for that day the next week. So that's I'd love to do 2 shows per day every day, Saturday through Wednesday, but that again, that's a little bit difficult as of right now. So, but I want to thank everyone that's listened to the show and been a guest on this show, and helped it grow to what it is now. Over 6,000, I believe, over 6,500 downloads so far. Over 17,000 views on YouTube. Really is amazing. And as always, if you have a true paranormal story you'd like to share, let me know through Discord or through email. My email is salsidoparanormal@gmail.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal@gmail.com. And I do try to keep the show on a positive, sort of more positive tone. So I'm not really, I'd rather not cover stories of experiences that are too graphic, too gory, or too anything that really can't be shared with just about everyone. So if you contact me and you have a story about that, or that sort of leads to that, I may we may have to decline to share that story. But I always do my best to share whatever I can with everyone. So, and also, I am looking to do roundtable shows on this show. So those of you that listen that are on Discord that would like to do those with me, let me know about that as well. If you have a topic that you'd like to talk about, again, the final decision on whether we do it or not, of course, will come down to me, just based on the show. But definitely open to suggestions, and happy to do those kinds of shows whenever possible. So I think that's going to cover it. Thank you all for listening and bearing with me as I get back into the routine again of doing these shows. And really glad to be back doing this. And I guess that'll be it for tonight. So thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all on the next episode of Salsido Paranormal. Take care, everyone.